Hi beaders, hope everybody's okay. My offering for today then are these beautiful, well I think they're beautiful, little springtime, summertime bracelets that I made. I'm going to show you this one first because this was my first attempt at one and I didn't make it quite as bushy as the blue one, so there's not as many embellishments on this. And what I didn't like on this was the gap between the beads from side. There's a good 1.5 to 2 inch gap there, and on the wrist it looks bald, if that makes sense. So on the second one I made some alterations to make that gap a little bit smaller. I have used some 8OC beads, 11OC beads, some dragon scales and some flower cup beads to make this bracelet, and it's so pretty. Even this one, even you know, if you don't like things too over the top, it's really pretty. The second one I made then in the blues is a little bit more fuller, and it's really pretty and summery. I love it, and I just added some more embellishments on this one, and I altered the clasp, so the spacing of the clasp. So if I just put it together, there we go, you can see that the spacing's better. Just added some more embellishments closer to the clasp. Made the clasp area just that little bit smaller. Okay, so let's have a look then. They're pretty, I love it, really cute. Ding ding. So let's have a look then at what we will need to make this bracelet. We will need some 8OC beads, and the ones I'm using today are crystal clear with silver lining. So that's going to make our base. The next thing we're going to need are some 11OC beads. Now you do not have to have a branded seed bead for this project. So if you've got a lot of the cheaper beads that are all different sizes, this project will be ideal for it. You will need some embellishments. As I said, I'm using flower cups. And I'm using a mixture of blues and purples today. I thought that would be nice, so that's what I'm going to be using, little flower cups. And I'm using the dragon scale, a mixture of dragon scale beads. These make it look as if they've got little leaves. If you look here on the bracelet, you can see they just look like little leaves in between the flowers. So that's quite nice. But if you haven't got them, don't worry. If you've got something like Rizo's, let's have a look here. If you've got something like Rizo's, you could use a Rizo bead on the end. That would be really cute. Quite like the idea of that. So you could use those, or nothing, just do a turnaround on the bead, on the seed beads. So instead of adding a dragon scale, just loop your thread round, miss a bead and come through the rest, and it'll just make a little tassel, and that'd fill it up nicely. So you don't have to have the dragon scales if you haven't got them, or the Rizos if you haven't got them. There's always a way around things. Make it into your project. I'm not claiming that this is mine. I'm sure it's already been done before, but this is just the way that I'm going to be doing it. You will also need then a clasp of your choice. I am using a pop clasp again today because I quite like those, or you could use a lobster clasp, or you could use a toggle clasp. Anything that you like you can use for this project. And I am also using 2 wire guardians. Okay, if you haven't got wire guardians, then just use your seed beads to make your loop instead. Okay guys, you will also be needing a needle. Mine's bent. I know yours doesn't have to be, but mine's bent. I'm using a size 12 today, but a size 10 would also work with this project. but I like my size 12s. You will also need some fireline, £6 fireline. Don't go any thicker really because of getting weaving back through the beads. So size 6, and you'll probably need about 3 arm spans and a bit. And what I mean by arm spans is by taking your thread and measuring it right, put your arms right out across your chest and do that 3 times with your thread. So unraveling it each time and going from tip to tip of your fingers. And you'll need about 3 of those. I like to still wax my thread, even though it is fireline. I still like to wax it, but you do not have to if you don't want to. If you haven't got any fireline, then please use a thread of your choice, not a problem. You will also need a pair of scissors, and that is just for cutting your fireline. And I think that's about it. Oh, a little addition, I find these little bead reamers really helpful. I picked this set up from eBay, I believe, for around about £5, I think they were. And they're really good. These little beads, dragon scale beads, like that one. Oh, it is. See, that one was blocked. I just popped that through and it popped the hole clear for me. So they're really good, these are. So if you're looking at something to get for your stash, a set of these are ideal, little bead reamers. Okay guys, so time to get your stuff together, and I'll meet you back here. So you've got all your stuff together then. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to string on all our 8OC beads that we're going to need. And first off, because we're working with such a lot of thread, take your working thread end, that will end up being your tail thread, and just thread on one of them. You don't need a massive tail for this, and just loop it back. And you just need enough thread to be able to sew in later, so about 6 inches. Okay, so that's nice and secure on one end, and it's very simple. All we're going to do is thread on enough of the 8OC beads. I'm going to thread on because I want about a 7-inch bracelet, so I'm going to count an inch for the clasp, 6, so that takes me down to 6 inches. So I'm going to thread on just under 6 inches, about 5 3/4 so inches of C beads, of the 8OC beads. So we just need to get threading on, don't we? And see how we go. Did you have a nice Easter, everybody? Everybody have a nice Easter? Mine was quite quiet because my little grandson wasn't very well over Easter, so it was quiet. Bless him. So I'm just going to pull those down my thread. Yes, I have a lot of thread. There we go, to my stop bead. And I did forget to mention that you will need to measure. So let's have a look. So I need a few more yet. Do you like my little snail? Tape measure. Oh dear. So keep on threading. Oh, and a little tip as well for you, when I'm working with so much thread, when you more or less get your thread not quite double, and then only wax the thread that's going to be going through the beads, if that makes sense. So the tail of the thread, don't wax it, the thread that you're not using, and then just wax on that. Otherwise it gets stuck in the eye of the needle, I find. So I just want a few more, I'll say about another 4, I'd say. Let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4. Might be too many, let's see. Sorry about me having to pull this thread through, but this isn't a project I like to attach to because of weaving, making the embellishments. So I think that's about right for me. Okay. Right then, so that's our base done. So we can get rid of those now. Get them out of the way. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the one end of my clasp on. So I will need some seed beads out. We will need a wire guardian, and we will need the clasp. Okay, see if the clasp will thread through the wire guardian, should I say, go through the clasp, which it does. Fabulous. Right, to do our clasp then, we need to pick up 2 seed beads. I'll bring you in a little bit. Okay, so we need 2 seed beads and our go through one side of the wire guardian. Okay, pull our thread through, trying hard not to get knots. That's the trouble. Do it nice and slow, guys. Don't rush because there's no point. Okay, picking it up would be ideal, Jane. Right, so now going through our clasp. So if you're using a toggle clasp or whatever clasp you are using, go through the whole of your clasp. Okay, come down the other side of the wire guardian, hold your work because it is easier. Look at all this thread to go through. You will get knots, unfortunately, but waxing the thread does help not up so much. Pick up 2 seed beads and go back through 2 of the 8/0 seed beads. Okay, and pull our thread through. Right. So now we have, oh, sorry about that. So now we have our clasp attached, or half of our clasp attached. Now do not worry because we need to be going through this 3 times. But as we work down, we'll go down to one end and then we'll come back up again, okay? And that's when we'll do our reinforcing, is when we come back up again. So the first thing we need to do then, for me, going down, is some flowers. Okay, so in order to get the flower embellishment onto our bracelet, we need to add 5 seed beads, add on our flower cup and 1 seed bead. Okay, this seed bead is going to act as like a stopper to keep everything in place. Okay, holding our beads then, trying hard not to get all in a muddle with our threads, and this is what it's wanting to do at the moment. Once it's warmed up and you're working with it, it does, and it gets shorter. It wants to knot up less, so just work with it. It's not a race. We do beading because we enjoy beading, not because of anything else. Okay, where's that bead gone? There we go. Okay, bring it down to our, let me just run my hands through my thread, it's all over the show. Right, there we are. Okay, rid of that. Right, so skipping the seed bead, the last seed bead we added, go straight back through the cup, the flower cup, and all 5 of the seed beads, come down to our 8 O's and go through 2. Okay, and pull our thread through. Okay, and give it a bit of a pull, and that is what you shall have. So this is the start of our bracelet. Okay, because we've come through 2 of our base beads, that set us up nicely for our next embellishment. So we pick up 5 seed beads, a flower cup, this time I'm going to pick up a dark blue one, and a seed bead. Holding our beads, pull the thread through, okay, bring it down, miss out the last seed beads that we added, going through the cup, down the 5 seed beads, going through 2 of the base, so I'm going through the 5 seed beads down to where we started and going through the next 2 8O seed beads and pull our work through. Trying hard not to get any knots, which, working with so much threads, you do get them, but they're quite easy to get out. It's just where it's sticking to itself. The tail thread's got itself messed up. Bear with me. This does happen. Sing amongst yourselves or something. It's the tail thread wrapped round the wrong way. Can cause a right nuisance, but it happens, and when it does, you just have to work out which way the knot's going and undo it. Simple as that. Like I say, it does get better once the threads are warmed up. and giving it a bit of a pull. Thread out the way here, catching on all sorts on my desk. Right, moving forward then, we've gone through the next 2 seed beads. You've guessed it, we pick up 5 seed beads, I'm going to pick up a light blue one this time, and a seed bead, and take your beads down to your work, missing out the last seed bead, going through the 5 seed beads, so now you're down at the base, and going through the next 2 size 8 seed beads, okay, and pull. That must be better, the thread must be warming up a little bit. Okay, so again, 5 seed beads, flower, seed bead, drop your work down, oh, drag it across the table, missing out the last seed bead, going down the 5, making sure you don't miss any, and going through the next 2 8/0s. Okay, give it a little pull. Again, 5 seed beads, a flower, a seed bead, drop them down. Sorry if I'm not in shot, guys, it's hard to pull all that through. Miss out the last seed bead, go through your flower, making sure you go through all your 5 seed beads and picking up the next 2 8/0s in line. Pull your needle down. Okay, and this is so far what you shall have. Okay, stick with it. 5 seed beads, petal, flower, seed bead, miss out the seed bead, down 5 and up 2. There we go. I have to straighten this thread out a minute, guys. Drive me to distraction. Not very warm in this room today though, I am a bit cold. I've got a bit of a knot there. That's it, sorted. Again. Everything's sticking to everything. Okay. So 5 seed beads. Petal. flower seed bead. And if I'm in a bit too close, I'll widen you out of it. See if that's better. Miss a bead, down 5. So I've gone down my 5, down to my base where I started, and through 2. Okay. Pick up 5. Wow, go to my needle. Making sure you don't miss any beads, down to the base and through 2. Okay, and basically this is all you're going to do till you get to the other end. So pick up 5 seed beads, pick up a petal, pick up a seed bead, miss that seed bead, go down through your petal, your flower bud, down the 5 seed beads, ensuring that you don't miss any out, down to where you started and through the next 2. Okay, so do all that till you get to the other end, and I'll meet you at the other end. See you in a bit, guys. So we've worked our piece up then, and we've got to our other end, and we've added all our flowers so far. So the next stage is, oh, by the way, you need to make sure this is our tail end where we started. If your work has come loose and you've got gaps, just give that a pull, and that'll pull everything in snug, okay? So to move forward then, we just need to put the clasp on the other end. So we want 2 seed beads, making sure that the wire guardian goes through our other end of the clasp, which this is playing up and not wanting to go through. Could be that there's a couple of burrs on the clasp. Not making this look easy, am I? Okay, so I'm going to get my awl and give it a file. See if that helps. Well, fingers are in the way. There we go. Now it's on. See, I said those things were useful. So up through the wire guardian then, and through the ring of the clasp. Pull the thread through, not being attached to anything. Down the other side of the wire guardian. Okay, pick up 2 seed beads and then go through the first 8/0 seed bead. Okay, I've been down and pegged my washing out, and my thread's cooled down. Okay, so this is what you have. Our other end is now attached. We have our tail thread and we have our working thread. Okay, so let me just run my fingers through this thread. Okay, so now then we're going to bring our whatever you've chose to do. It could be just seed beads, it could be Rizos, could be anything that you're using. Right, just to keep this end a bit fluffier then, I'm just going to add 3 seed beads, pick up a dragon scale or whatever it is, drop those down, missing out the dragon bead, going through the 3 seed beads, making sure you're not missing any, and go through 2 of the 8/0 seed beads. So this is what you have. Okay, pull the thread through, a tug, okay, so five seed beads, a dragon scale, pull your work down, missing out the dragon scale, and looping round into your 5 seed beads down to where you exited and going through the next 2. So you're coming out in between each, because remember we went down and went through 2 8/0s. Now we're going back through 8/0s, but we're missing, can you see that set's coming out to 1 8/0 and we're going into the next, so we're still going through 2. It's just how it's worked out. Okay, so again 5, picking up a dragon scale, come on now thread, behave, it's because you're working with such a lot, skipping over the top, going through the next 2. So we're putting a set of 5 seed beads and a dragon scale in between. Can you see? So they're going in between, in between. Yeah, picking up 5. Picking up a dragon scale, or Rizo, or nothing, whichever you're doing. dropping over the top of the dragon scale, going down the 5. Make sure you don't miss any beads out because it will look a mess, and going through 2 of the 8 O's. That's your base. I've got a knot in there somewhere. Surprise, surprise. Run your fingers through it. I might want waxing again actually. I think I might give it another waxing. Just bear with me guys, I'll just give this a waxing. To wax your thread, you just hold the thread into the wax with your thumb and pull. And that gives it a wax. There. Okay. And then sort your thread out. Run it through your fingers. Okay. Getting that out of the way. Okay, so 5 seed beads. Picking up dragon scale. Running it down. Missing the dragon scale. Going through 5 and then through 2. Making sure you don't pick up any of the, and keeping this as well taut. If you've got a little springy thing like I've got to help keep that in place, you can just stick that on there, but you can, I tend to just give it a pull and it pulls everything snug again for you. And we will sort that one out at the end. We will. It all comes together nicely, don't worry. So picking up 5 then. Picking up a dragon scale. Dropping them down. Going round the dragon scale. Picking up the 5. Back to where you started. And going through 2 of your 8 OC beads and pulling your work up. 5 dragon scale. It's blocked. Use that one instead. In the dragon scale, through the 5 and through 2 at the bottom. Okay, so do this then all the way down, making sure you don't do that, catch on anything else. And I'll meet you down the bottom end and show you what to do next. Okay? Just thought I'd join you at the end then. So I've just added my one with the dragon scale on, I can't think. So I've got another couple to go. So just thought I'd do the last couple with you. 5 dragon scale. And through 2, okay? So on this one then, we're going to add 3, because we're making it bushy around the clasping area, aren't we? So 3, a dragon scale, jumping over, and we're ready to reinforce on the clasp. So back in where we've just come, through the 2 seed beads. So come back down through the 3 from the dragon scale, through the 8 at the bottom, up through the 2 seed beads and into the wire guardian. Okay. Through the clasp. Getting attached to everything on my desk. Down through the wire guardian, through the 2 seed beads and out of the first 8-0 again. And pull your thread through. So I'm going to add another 3 seed beads and a dragon scale, through the 3, out the way, and up 2. Right, so we're on our way back for the 3rd time now, and you can look at it and think to yourself, I quite like it as it is, and if that's the case, then skip on to the end and I'll show you what you need to do. Or if you want to add more, which I do, I'm going to add along the way now either a another dragon scale or another flower, and I make the decision as I'm going along. So at this stage I'm going to add, get rid of that, it's a tiny little bead. I'm going to add 3 seed beads and a dragon scale. Okay, go down the 3, and I'm going to miss 3 and come up by the flower. Now this is entirely down to you now as you're designing your bracelet as what you do. And I'm going to add 3 seed beads and a dragon scale. At this stage they will start getting in your way, so just move everything aside. Go down 3, and I'm going to go up 3. Okay. Careful that I don't catch anything, pulling my work nice and snug. And I'm going to add 3. I'm going to do dragon scales all this time up, and see about flowers the next time, see how I feel. And I've got another knot. This thread is driving me crazy today. What's going on with all the knots? think my hands are cold and I'm feeling a bit cool. Spring's been late in coming to Cornwall, but we had a nice day yesterday, and I've got washing out on the line now, but it's just feeling a bit chilled in the house. I've got no heating on, and now I've got knots in my thread. There we go. So what's going on here now? There it is. Just remember, like I always say, you be the boss of the beads, don't be frightened of them. What's the worst that could happen? Right, I'm going to go up 3. It's really quite a quick project, this one, once you get into it. 3, and this, doing it in 3s now as opposed to 5, just helps it be a little bit more fluffier. Go up 3. Oh, for goodness sake, what is going on with this thread? Patience is a virtue, as they say. Unless you're trying to make a YouTube video, then maybe not so much, hey? I don't know what's going on with this, guys, I'm sure. Got a right knot in it somehow. What on earth is going on? I think I've sorted it now. There we go. Tug down that end. And that's sorted out. There we are. Okay. Thread's getting a bit short. There we are. Onwards. Stay calm and bead on. Right. Up 3. Three seed beads, dragon scale, up 3. It's a great technique. I'm loving how it, thinking that'd make like a nice pendant size. Make it a bit more fluffier, make it into a pendant, be good. What do you like to do while you're beading? Do you like to watch telly? Do you like listening to the radio? Do you like listening to YouTube? Do you like watching a film? Well, listening to a film, isn't it really? You sort of half-heartedly watch. Pick your head up when the good bit comes. And I'm having like a studio type thing built in the garage. So it's like a room inside a room. We live in rented accommodation down here in Cornwall, so you're limited in what you can do. So we've had a room built into the garage. And I'm going to be doing all my wire work and all my, been a long time coming. I've been collecting sea glass for a long time, but I'm not allowed to drill it or shells inside the house, so all the strong glues, etc. So I've waited quite a while to have this room built, and the electrics have gone in, the cupboards, a couple of the cupboards have gone in, and the lighting on the roof's gone in. So it's just a matter of messing with things and sorting out where I want to be. I've just put an order in for a rock tumbler, so I can, any of my sea glass that's got chipped on the way home, I can finish it off in there, and all exciting things of my wire work I'm going to be doing in there, and all my patinaing and all those wonderful interesting things going to be going on in there. Unfortunately though, I can't get Wi-Fi in there. What's all that about? Can't get Wi-Fi. So I'm not going to be able to do my social media while I'm down there, am I? Oh well. Never mind, as they say, you can't have everything, can you? Can't have everything. So I'm going to just keep on doing threes then, down, and I'll meet you down at the other end and show you what to do next. Keep beading, guys. I'll be back with you in a minute. So I got to the other end then, and I've just gone through the clasp and come back down again facing the other way. So again, it's time to decide what you want to do, whether you want to add more leaves or some more bells. So flowers. So what I'm going to do, I'm right at the end here, and I think it needs to be a bit more fluffier. So I'm going to add 4 seed beads and a dragon scale, and drop it down, come through. Wow. Ow. Stabbed myself. Must have one of the seed beads must be thin inside. So what we'll do is we'll get through those seed beads first. And if this has happened to you, where there's lots of thread and you're new and you don't know what to do, just pull, hold on to the end bead and pull the thread. There we go. And that takes it down. Okay. It's getting there now, look. And go through. Pick it up and go through a couple of beads. Can go through 2 this time. And get yourself wrapped up. Good and proper. Attach myself to the clasp and pull your beads down. Now I think I'm going to add a flower this time, so I'm going to add 4 beads, pick up a flower, not forgetting my outer bead, to pick it up guys, going through 2, and it's just a case now deciding whether you want to add more flowers, just a string of beads, some dragon scales, whatever you want to do. So it's entirely your design, okay? Just decide what you want to do and make your way down to the end, go through the seed beads at the bottom and the wire guardian coming round, and I'll meet you at the other side and we'll decide what we're going to do from there. Okay guys, so keep on beading, listen to your music, watch your film, whatever you're doing. Is your my neck crack then? And we'll be back shortly. So I've turned and come back down, and now it's time to make a decision. Am I happy with the way it's embellished, or do I want more? Me personally, I'm happy with that. So the next stage for me then, so I'm going to move those out the way. There we go. Out the way. Move them out the way. So now we need to tie off our bracelet. Okay. So I've come down, it's had 3 stages of reinforcement on the ends through the wire guardians, so I'm happy. So I'm going to needle my way just down a few beads, wherever the needle comes out, that's fine. Clearing the way for my thread. Now if I hold it, the piece like that, I can get to the thread paths in the centre of the beads. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up thread with my needle, pull it through to bring up a small loop, and pass my needle through that loop, slowly pulling on the thread, and that gives me a knot. Okay, so I'm going to go back in where the thread's exiting, put my needle through, it's come out about 3 beads up, again holding the beads apart, finding a centre thread, pass my needle through the loop and pull. These are called half hitch knots. Pass my needle through, gone up some beads. Make sure you don't catch any embellishments. Pull my beads apart, grab some of those threads, wow, and go through the loop, slowly pulling it down and giving it a pull. Okay, go through the centre beads wherever it comes out, moving everything else out of the way so we don't get no trappings. Moving our beads out the way to expose the centre threads. Pick up threads with our needle. Wow. I'm not having a good day today, am I, with this thread? Can you actually see what I'm doing? Let me bring you in a little bit. Okay. So picking up a thread, pulling it down to make a loop, putting my needle through the loop and pulling it down. Going through some beads. Trying hard not to get caught in the embellishments. Exposing the centre threads. Bring up a loop. If it does do that, just give it a good tug. Going through some beads and pull your way through. So this is going to be the last for me now. I'm just going to thread that through a few beads, pull it up and chop off. So that's one side done. So what you're left with now is the side that we started off with. Our tail thread. So just give it a tug and that pull everything up nice and tight. Get a needle, that's what I'll do. On our end, just give it a flatten because this does help it go through the eye of the needle. And pass it through the needle, see how easy that is. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is, where that's coming out, I am going to go up through the clasp, trying hard not to get yourself attached, through the clasp, and that's hooked on it. No worries, we'll work that out. Can't grab it, guys. There we are, it's better. Going down the other side through the beads and into the beadwork, okay, into the centre 80 beads. Always when you're putting your thread over the wire guardians, making sure that it sits in the little groove. They have little grooves on top. Okay, go through another couple of beads. Ooh, drop it, swing it around, put your glasses back up on off your nose. Right. And we're going to do the same thing. Pick up the right needle, Jane. Good idea, really. Right, so expose the threads and pull through. And we haven't got much thread this end, so we don't want to go too far. Okay, exactly the same. Going through, pulling up a loop. Through 3. Exposing the centre thread, put your needle through, make a loop, go through the loop, pulling the thread nice and tight. Through a few beads. Pulling up through, oh, too many, a few threads, through the loop and pulling. Nice few half-hitch knots. Through the loop, pull the loop nice and tight. I think we may be able to do another 1 or 2 just to secure everything. So through the beads, expose the centre beads, through a thread, through the loop, pull up the loop. I think I might be able to get another one, for my thread's too short, and that should be plenty, put plenty in. Not getting caught on any embellishments. Exposing the centre beads, exposing the centre threads, needle through the threads, and through the loop, pull the loop up, and that'll do us. Go through a few beads and cut off our thread. And there, ladies and gentlemen, we have our very new bracelet, and how gorgeous is that? I'll just take you out a little bit. There we go. How beautiful is that? It's really pretty. Just a little bit of advice on sizing. If you are making a bracelet for an 8-inch wrist, then you want to make your beading about 7 inches long, allowing for an inch for your clasp. Okay, if it was for 7.5 inch, just take an inch off for your clasp, and that should give you your size. I really hope you enjoyed this project. Let me know, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to me if you'd like to see more videos. Please leave a comment. It's always nice to hear your thoughts, and whether you're liking what I'm doing or whether you're not, it'd be great to hear. I don't mind positive criticism. So I really hope you've enjoyed yourself. I've loved having you along, and I will see you on the next video. I don't know what's coming next. The bead boxes come for April, so I may do some more bead boxing, see what I can make out the next bead box. So there you go then, guys. I hope you go and make lots for yourself and for your friends, and I'll see you on the next video then. Cheers for watching. Bye for now. Let's see them thumbs. Thumbs. Bye, guys. So pretty. Lovely.